What up, world?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Riders, we here.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon, however, whatever, wherever you at in the world, on the east, on the west, down south, up north, in between, you know what I'm saying? Right here with us, you know, we everywhere. We everywhere. All across the country, passport stamped up. It's the patio, baby. It feels good to be in here, man.
Yes, first panel of the new year.
Yeah. Here with my brothers, here with my riders.
How the year been for y'all thus far?
Man, hey, exactly what you saying. Hey, it's been like a gift opening every day, man.
Come on.
For sure.
Come on. What about you, T?
Man, it's been different, but I'll say blessed.
Blessed. What about you, Mac Mizzle?
Oh man, you know, just being the king in the royal, you know what I'm saying? But it's been grand. It's been very eye-opening, especially just looking at myself, studying myself, learning from myself, becoming a better version of myself. Like, it's a fun journey. What about you?
Man, more kids on the way. That's But what up, world, man? Peace and blessings to y'all, man. Glad that y'all rocking here with us, man. If y'all haven't heard it from us yet, happy New Year's, peace and love to y'all. We glad that y'all on the show. Yes, we got a triggering episode for y'all.
Again?
Y'all know how we do. Yeah, again. Hell yeah. You know we got to bring it. I didn't want the bells this particular episode because it's the first panel. We're going to come a little light, but it's going to be a little heavy at the same time, if you know what I mean. So the topic today, y'all, right? Seen a video on YouTube, and it was on social media, TikTok, IG, Twitter, and all that, of a woman. They had a panel of people speaking on the single mothers. Are they worse or better than an absent dad or absent father, per se? So are black single mothers a detriment to the children, or the father being absent out of the child life is a detriment to the child?
Who's the worst parent?
Exactly. And who's the blame too?
Yeah.
We gonna tap into all that. All right. So while y'all think about that, y'all keep it locked. Don't go nowhere. We'll be back after the theme like this. Keep it locked.
We hope you stay a while, cause it's right for life. Trying to be part of your life. We got whatever you like. Come on and just give us a try, yeah. Cause it's right for life. Trying to be part of your life. We got whatever you like, yeah. Come on and just give us a try, yeah. I said it's right for life. Come in with the shows that you like. We trying to be the best on the mic. DJ playing cuts that you like, yeah. It could be the start of your day, or maybe just the end of your night. But if you rock it with us, Patio PolitiCz is gonna do you right. Oh, cause it's right for life. Trying to be part of your life, yeah. We got whatever you like. Come on and just give us a try, yeah. Cause it's right for life. Trying to be part of your life. We got whatever you like. Come on and just give us a try, yeah. We hope you stay a while.
Yes. We hope you stay a while. And if you don't, man, what's gonna happen, man? New year 2025, what we doing? We done left the kidnapping in 2024.
We're gonna come find you, and we gonna steer you on the right path.
That's good. Yeah. So we ain't no more kidnapping.
Yeah, you was here, but you're not here no more. Where'd you go? We gonna come find you.
Just in case, though, I'll be in the back seat.
There we go. We can't say too many stuff. You know, they got SA and all this stuff. We'll keep it clean, this show.
We got to see how my nigga Trump do, man.
There go.
Well,
there go.
Let me not say my nigga.
Starting off with the
you know what I mean?
Well,
you know what I meant.
You about to turn this triggering episode into a whole new triggering episode.
Man. So before we went on break, we was talking about the whole thing on the absent father versus a single mom in the home. Now, in the panel that we all was watching, you guys, you know, it was a triggering conversation for some. Some were more stoic and in control of their emotions than others. But let me get y'all intake on it. Just the whole thing of, y'all think a mom brings harm being a single parent without the father there, or when the father exit out is automatically hook, line, sinker, it's a wrap, it's over with when the father's not involved in the child's life. Absent, completely gone. No nothing. No relationship, no co-parenting with the single mom and all that.
Let's go from the right all the way to the left.
Okay.
Because I know we got different aspects of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say because
okay.
this has been a one-sided conversation for too long, and I was what Max said. Let's cover both bases.
Okay, yeah, let's get it.
So
what you think, T?
all right. Oh, you want me to lead it off?
From the right
Yeah, from the right to the left.
to the left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's start off with the narrative they always pushing.
Okay.
It's all daddy,
Yeah.
daddy, F daddy.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, all's my life I has to fight.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be damned if I let him beat me.
The woe is me shit.
Woe is me.
Yeah, there it is.
I've just found, like, I mean, as we all probably do throughout life, you find nobody wants to talk about nuance. Because the place that I tend to come from on spaces like this, when people get sensitive as they did on there, is you can tell people are triggered and triggered in the fact that they could be wrong when you're adding nuance to something, but not invalidating them.
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, I've been in similar spaces where people were talking about misogyny, and I was talking about, well, what about the hatred towards us, especially?
Yeah.
And I was like, because we don't have what y'all think we have in terms of calling us like white men. And I said, I don't have to invalidate your experience of misogyny to say what's happening to me is valid. So in the instance of getting to what we're talking about on this topic, the idea that all that happened to you does not by default mean that you did what was best or that you've done what was best or helpful, you know, for that child. I have students all the time too that have mothers that talk to them crazy, and I've seen that happen. Yeah. And then when I find out the extended history, you know, well, dad's not in the picture, or dad is on the other side of the country, or dad's been in prison. For the last
everything
8
is
months.
dad.
Blame game.
It's never no accountability.
None.
On the woman.
Anytime anything goes wrong, everybody's a victim.
Well, it's just that, you know, well, dad's been away, so now I have a crutch I can use to say, well, this is how I am. I'm this way. And, but I gave you life though. Yeah. So.
And I think for us men, we don't have the village and support system that the women have. Yeah. Outside the home and inside the home, meaning family, extended family, outside the home. You talking about government assistance, everything. They have more leverage and help and assistance than we do as being single black fathers.
Well, we're given a village. We are not simply we're not necessarily allowed to have a village defined by other men that we can look up to. Our village is supposed to be many of those women that we disagree with on this. Mm-hmm. You know, the idea that, you know, you're not supposed to question them, period. That's why the whole idea of them even being offended the way they were. Yeah. You know, and that was one of many panels that I've seen on that. Yeah. You know, the idea of being offended at, how dare you even ask me such a question? Yeah. You know.
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing about being one, black in America. And again, when you don't want to be accountable, because women want to be so right all the time.
All the time.
And social media has gave platforms and voices to people who really don't need to be heard. Yeah. Because they're not fixed, and they're projecting their bullshit onto the world and everybody else and their viewpoints. Mm-hmm. So if you got 2 toxic people on the panel of 8, yeah, you're going to find 1,000 other toxic people similar to them in the comments. Now it becomes a chiming in, but it's never no solution to the issue.
Never.
And women don't ever want to take accountability for the fact, if he's a dump truck after he left and all this, he wasn't shit before he hit, but you still let him hit and you kept the child. So then what? Then it gets quiet, or they get offensive, start wanting to flip it over tables, call you out your name and be disrespectful. Because now they got to look in the mirror and say, well, or they say he wasn't like that at first. Yeah. How not?
Well, how did he get there with you?
Exactly.
Well, I spoke on this, but it's funny, prior to when we started the panel, and I said many of them today have a unique form of narcissism, where you're so well immersed in it that you cannot even realize you're doing. It's like not realizing you're in the Matrix. Yeah. And remember the dude in the movie, and he was like, I know the Matrix is telling me that this steak is juicy. And I know it's not real. You know, it's to the point where you
don't have the awareness.
You can't even realize that this is actually sincerely a problem. Yeah. Because you've internalized your own pain so much, and that comes on the priority scale higher than anything else you can see. Yeah. Which is seeing them, because, like, for instance, I got several students, boys, that I see that don't recognize that this is having an effect on them. I sit students down sometimes and just have conversations with them and, like, let them talk and even listen to, like, them explaining things. And I'm like, damn, this is
because it's normal.
15, 20 years from now.
It's normal. You don't know no different.
Yeah.
You got to want to know, like, okay, is this right?
Exactly.
Who do I ask about this that could lead me down the right path?
Exactly.
Yeah. Now let's before K go, let's address the elephant in the room. Were you guys raised by single parents? Or let's say just by your mom only?
No.
Actually, partially.
Okay.
My parents were married but split up in my life.
Okay. So it's a no for me too. However, I'm certain we all have been around and got close friends, female friends that have been raised into single parent homes, predominantly by the woman. I say 90% by the woman. Go ahead, Kay.
Or we had situations to where, like, maybe have both parents in the household, but maybe one was incapable for certain reasons coming from the environments we come from.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Yeah. I've seen that too, where you have maybe the parents are separated. I've seen shit sometimes parents in opposite sides of the house.
Man,
bipolar opposites where they don't even fuck with each other and deal with each other.
Or on drugs,
all that type of stuff. And then what was so crazy to me is one of the young ladies was saying how because the man has left or ejected himself out of the family life, the black sister's life, it applies more pressure on this woman to get 2 and 3 jobs. Yeah. Which, I mean, what is y'all intake on that?
I've seen it. So for me, off of first hand on that, that's why I'm gonna answer my question now, even while we right here. I believe that there is a gray area for sure on this for the sake of layers. Like, I believe it comes down to choices and perspective on some real ultimately. But now for the sake of conversation and on the black and white shit, I'm gonna blame the one who planted the seed. Yeah. Because I believe that ultimately, before you do anything, this tree, the fruit of this tree will never even come to be if I ain't plant the seed.
That part.
So I'm just gonna go to, I believe, the root of the issue. And it goes further than that too. We really want to get into it, but I'm gonna go with the brother. No doubt. There is some things that come from single mother households. Like, you tend to have the more crime rates. The kids tend to commit more crimes.
More trauma not there.
Right. It's like kind of like I'm about to gauge this wheel. I'm making an analogy. It's like having a bike and I got this wheel in front, but I got 2 screws on both sides, and right screw daddy, left screw mama. Now, if I take off this left screw, this wheel is still gonna work. It's gonna make it to the other end of the street. That motherfucker gonna be wobbly though. That's the same thing. It's like, you're gonna get to your destination, but the quality of your destination is not gonna be the same. Same thing with us as humans. I believe that we be good with a single parent, but the quality of us is not gonna be the same as when we got both.
I got a slightly different perspective, but Matt, go first.
Yeah. I thought, were we gonna slide or?
No, because I want to hear yours as well. I wanted to play devil's advocate with Kay, right? How come? Okay, so I'm gonna say I disagree with that. In a sense, just
the seed planting part.
Not, but only I say this because it takes 2 to tangle,
right?
And you have women too. It becomes our fault afterwards.
Yeah,
but I didn't force you to lay on your back and allow me to bareback you. And in instances, what if you saying come at me? What if you saying these different type of things or whatever? We both are taking a chance right now to know, shit, pre-cum can get somebody pregnant.
Yeah.
So say if, instance, I didn't come to you and my pre-came impregnated you, then instead of it being, I could take it being both our fault, but in a lot of cases, it's like, well, you could have did this, you should have did this, we both adults.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
And I mean, that was literally the perspective on what he said.
And they give us the control.
That's the true gray area.
Yeah.
That's why I say ultimately it's a gray area.
Yeah.
But I put it in because we can choose to withdraw.
Man,
and if we ask certain questions, we'll know who we getting ourselves into.
Yeah.
And as a man, we got a power because for those who believe in order, there's a lot of people who don't believe in order. But I believe that we closer to God in that order for a reason.
Hell yeah, that part.
Like we more on a vertical climb. So I'm just saying, like, a lot of times the one who got the most sense in the room is the one that got the other head. Now though it's said that we tend to be more horn dogs and we like forget all of that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the disciplined man, the man that we should strive to become.
Yeah, that part.
So let me ask y'all a question then, because there's a lot there.
I'm in the gray area, but I won't say gray because that's a triggering when you're talking about spaces or whatever. I'm just gonna say it's the color.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's and to agree with Five, it's both parties' fault.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You planting the seed, but what is that soil looking like? How are you treating your soil?
Yeah.
How are you treating your seed?
Yes.
How, like, you know what I'm saying? It's both y'all fault, and whoever fall off, and the other one has to keep up if they keep up. Because I come from a no-parent household where neither one of them kept up. It's like, okay, where do you place the blame at?
And it's always a keep up.
Yeah.
Because those we don't have them adult conversations before going into it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And if we had each other to keep each other balanced, it's like, man, forget the village. We the village. We creating this.
We create.
It's not even looking for the family because but everybody else done had their kids. Everybody else done lived their life.
Man.
How can we look for them to dictate and govern ours and have those expectations? Don't get me wrong. Maybe some people showed up for other people and you would like them to do the same for you. But realistically, this is the life that we're creating. We decide to lay down and make a baby, as two people.
So
So
keyword you
we gonna
said
create
there.
this household.
Keyword you said there, we. What JT said is really more of the point I was going to get at, which is that these conversations are not had in a we context. The reason I said let's go both
Especially
extremes.
if we ain't together.
Yeah, it's always a finger point.
Exactly.
Not real spill.
Because I was going to say, like, here's the thing. In a lot of them spaces, especially a lot of them chicks on the panel too, and other panels I've seen, the mass attack is completely on the black man.
Yes,
and it's one of them things where I hear what you're saying, Kay. Because it's not that I'm against it. But it's not that I don't understand it. I believe that context applies when you have, I don't know if the correct word is a society, when you have a community that prides itself on holding everyone accountable.
Principles.
Because my thing is this.
But does the community not become a product of the family?
Yep.
Yeah. A community becomes a product of the family, but I gotta break this down. Do we have time?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing, and just roll with me for a second on this. We don't control. Do women not have free will? We've been over Outwitting the Devil, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
They have free will. They can go get their own job. They can choose who they want to date, who they want to be with.
Yeah.
So if we want to look at things in a greater context, it behooves me to say, all y'all need to take accountability for the nigga that I chose to sleep with when I wanted to do what I wanted to because it was my body, my choice. It's just not my choice when it comes to responsibility and consequences.
Exactly.
That's the part that we're missing because my thing, we don't see them come up and be like, this is a we thing, or it would be a we thing in the sense of, he's not here and I want to make this work.
I'm gonna take it further because it's always a me thing when it comes to our sisters. I'm not talking about no other nationality or races.
Yeah, we can't.
It's always, and we were born into that shit. Just think of it. Who is prom ultimately for?
The women.
Wedding.
The women.
Grand night.
So true.
Bridal shower.
Yep.
And that's not fair. It's not fair.
It's not fair.
It's
Our
really not.
inclusion is more than just being there.
Like to me, I believe it's layers, right? Because yes, I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Because you can plant the seed in the woman and she can be like, no, we ain't having this baby.
That part,
Or she can be like this, right?
Yeah.
And
Like, why is the final decision on you?
And show me where she at. Show me where she at.
right. No, it's real. I think that, like, when we talk about even when we talk about the order and we be like, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe we look at it in a way to where we put one over the other, where kind of in a way it's like you need the other to work with each other.
Yeah.
I believe that the way that we look at it is we used to looking at it this way because it's always the versus thing in the middle.
Yep.
But I believe that's the problem. It's never a versus thing. It's that I need you to get to this greater good.
Yeah.
It's like meaning that we.
Which is ultimately we. You said it.
I'm saying we, but I'm saying that like in hope of that, like that's what I believe that's the way that it should be. We just ain't been taught that it's not.
We ain't never knew that.
Exactly.
That was the point I was getting at.
Hold on. We gonna take a quick break because it's getting good. Y'all don't go nowhere. Keep it locked, man. We'll be back in a tick on the Patio PolitiCz. Yes, sir.
You are now rocking with the Patio PolitiCz.
Rocking in, we rolling in, we rolling in,
Ding,
we
ding,
rocking.
ding, 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 ding.
All right.
Jangling, 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 jangling.
Made me feel like the Bells, man.
All right, Kay was making a great point, and then you was alluding to a lot of great facts too. I still think it's a conversation that should be had though before we get into this point.
We don't talk.
Yeah,
Agreed.
But you want me to hold myself accountable and be responsible because okay, I released in you and all that. Now it's all on me. But now you have free will, like you said, to keep the child or not. Especially if I'm showing you ways that you know you don't fuck with. And technically speaking, in all actuality, I done showed you these ways before. But because you were so smitten and have visions of grandeur for us, you didn't give a fuck.
For sure.
Yeah.
You ignored all the red flags.
Wanted that meat, so you ignored the heat.
She ignored the red flags like we do. Because technically, we shouldn't even be at this point of having unprotected sex anyway.
That's
sharing
why I
our
said,
souls with each other.
That's why I said it's a we. So it's never pitched from their end as a we thing.
Exactly.
It'd be different if if they were so adamant and so convicted the way they speak on these panels, and they were saying, look, we in this because you chose to be in this with me. It's not none of that. It's I've been this, and this, and he left me, and I just, and I'm like, all right, well, what about the question I was gonna ask y'all too.
Yeah.
One of the dudes on the panels, and he's posed this multiple times, Anton Daniels, and it's one of the few points he's made that has stuck out to me. He was like, even if we did the math, you cannot solve for everybody in the world. It doesn't matter how much righteousness comes into the world. You're always going to have murderers, thieves, killers, and all that stuff, right? So if you look at that in the greater retrospect of men, even if you solve for 9 out of every 10 men and say, okay, let's go with their notion, right? It's men's fault. It's all on us. All right, so let's fix all of men, right? Nothing on women. Let's fix all of men. So if 9 out of every men get it together, that one man that still doesn't is the one they still gonna harp on.
Yeah, of course.
Because they still gonna need for somebody to blame.
And they gonna blame everybody else. Well, you girls as leaders, you should make sure that he does this, and this. And I'm like, well, when does your body, your choice stop? Does it stop when
women barely follow men? How dare they throw up the spew of you need to lead your brother to do this and do that X, Y, Z to help us do.
That was why I gave the example of the fact that okay, they have free will. They can go do whatever they want to do, right? They fought for it as well too.
Yeah.
So, but it's the misconception of what freedom actually is. They don't understand that like freedom is actually responsibility.
Yeah, but a lot of them don't want to be like accountable to accept responsibility. So now because you left out of my life, because I end up looking like my mom and being like my mom, you ain't being accountable for being a daddy. You ain't shit, yada yada, and the cycle starts to continue. It's a recurring cycle of the bullshit.
Let me ask y'all a question because I had this happen to me. Maybe it was specific to me. Have y'all ever like when y'all was little kids like run off at the mouth with your parents and your parents try to put you out of the house? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Or did it to like scare you and whatnot?
Yeah.
Or like hell yeah. Well, you get your ass out there and find your way.
Yeah.
And see.
Yeah,
I never got.
And it's the whole I want to be grown and I want to go and do do what I want to do. Okay, cool. Yeah, the moment you step out the door, it ain't one big party. It's
these the older siblings talking.
Right.
That part.
But I'm saying it's the same context in the mere fact that okay, it was my body, my choice. I can do whatever I want to do. Ain't no nigga tell me, oh man, now I'm dealing with this. Well, you should have told him not to do this to me.
And I want to be clear to our audience and the women out there because we're not advocating that it's okay for a man to impregnate you and step out. He's not shit. That's nigga shit, and he shouldn't be doing that. So shame on him and all that stuff. Now, if you are attracting the same type of dude that got you pregnant and is doing the same type of shit, shame on him the first time. Shame on you, the other 3 and 4 baby daddies that's the same like him. They don't never want to be accountable for that shit either. So now you look at the whole aspect of when these women get pregnant, the dudes step out their life, they got to get 2 and 3 jobs and everything. The young lady on that panel was saying all black women. She didn't say the majority. She didn't say some. She said all black women need a salute, need a kudos, need a smack on the ass. Great job, mom. for that, and that's where I disagree because
what if they're not doing a great job?
A lot of sisters ain't doing a great job at being mothers.
And I want to say this too, even to give more context of what you said too about how to the sisters out there, we not validating what any of the ain't shit dudes are doing. I'm saying it even makes it harder for those women, like, because I know good mothers that actually fought to
hell yeah,
because they wanted their family. Shoot, I speak for my own. That fought to keep everything the right way. You know, the issue I see a lot now is that when I have in-depth convos with people and they always act like you attacking them. You can ask the question like, did you ever even plan to have a family? Not have a kid. Did you plan to have a family?
To where they go to the narrative of saying like, well, at least it got done. Yeah, like that. The rebuttal would be like, right.
Listen to the.
We'll be speaking on the quality of it. Be
the connecting word, at least.
Right.
But where's the accountability?
At what point do you take accountability?
Yeah, because if you know the guy stepped out and you're done with him, are you ready and prepared to bring this child into the world and then raise it? It's fun making babies, but when you raising them, it's different. Now, it may be fun for some raising, but it can be triggering for some. What if your child come up looking like the dad that step out your life? I know a lot of moms like that that project all that negative energy that they got towards the dude.
And they create what they do.
They put it on the baby. You remind me of your dad, or you remind me this and that, da-da-da-da-da. Or even when you have young ladies, a lot of these, that's why, okay, we're going to get deep. We have a lot of single black women parents because their moms wasn't shit.
Yeah. And
period. Let's just
they wasn't taught no better, wasn't shown no better, so they carry on that.
I know a good portion.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
I feel for them because you can't tell them.
And that's mama. They don't want to address the fact that your mom done projected her generational curse on you, her stronghold on you.
It goes past the mom because it just be like your mom, your auntie, your grandma.
Yep.
And you not paying attention to how they living right now, and this is what we're going through.
Hell no.
While we right here, for the brothers, man, if you with a woman and you tend to see that she in a family where she got a lot of single mothers up in the family, just be mindful of that, and just be mindful of her influence. And brother, if you so happen to create a family in that space, man, really try your best to grab hold of your household, of your kingdom. Not in the sense of like, you know, overly, you know, being disrespectful and overly trying to dominate, but really take charge, man, because because they gonna manipulate her. They gonna get her.
She already manipulated.
They gonna teach her some of the things that they was taught and how to deal with things in a selfish way. To where, man, if you show up and you be there, you're gonna allow no one to ever say anything because your presence is gonna speak, everything, man.
That
so,
part.
man, be there, brothers, be there.
Yeah, but like, her influences are a big thing.
It's a fight. It's a fight. I've been in it too many times.
Yeah.
Like it's just like
same
wow.
Here.
Like wow. Even being a good dude or whatever, it's just like you still gonna get the same damn treatment because they ain't repaired that trauma on the inside.
I've been in it firsthand. Like seeing the mess in the same room happen between the mother and daughter. Like,
and you can't tell
that I was dating.
You can't tell the sister nothing because it's like you talking about her mom.
Yeah.
Well, remember,
or she'll ping pong you and start talking about your family.
I was gonna say, remember,
and she the same way.
But remember,
now
mama
talking
is
about
goddess.
Her. Yeah, that part.
But to many of them, remember, mama is goddess in the black community. Yeah. Mama is Oshun, the great.
But in order to be that, you got to be a virtuous woman. So we have to draw all the way back to the core, which is the Bible and the Word and God. If you're a goddess, you have to be up under God, which means you have to be accountable, you have to be honest, you have to be loyal, you have to be.
They don't want to hear all that.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. But
they just turned off the episode.
Yeah,
they don't. Because one thing that in my own studying that I noticed that people don't talk about is you will see everybody out here trying to talk about they're virtuous, and I'm like, you ever see how many preachers preach anything on the virtuous woman? They don't actually come from the word. They mention one scripture because if you start reading the whole rest of the chapter,
exactly.
And I'm like, this doesn't describe anything that you're saying. You're trying to tell a man that he needs to qualify for this. It says no, she's doing this for her household, for him, which is making their lives better. Not the other way around.
That's because our sisters are taught, get you a man who can do for you, who can provide for you, who can spoil you, who won't hold you accountable, which we're talking about. Get this and
what
that.
they call a real man.
Yeah, get a physical version.
Anytime you hear them say that,
government aid,
that's the only flag you need.
Get a physical copy of GR or county. Get that version. You want somebody to coddle you, cater you while you lazy, don't want to do nothing, don't want to cook. How many have y'all been with women that they say, "Oh, I can't wait to get my place. I'm gonna be cooking every day." Have y'all ever encountered a woman like that?
So she can't wait to get her own place?
Yeah, or get in a spot so she can cook every day, cook for you, do this and that.
Nah.
Oh yeah,
I've had it.
Yeah.
Not them saying like, well, when we get a spot or when I get my own spot, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I've never had that portion.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like I've never had to deal with being in the household and we're not both equally.
I was gonna say,
you know
because like mine's cooks, so
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, but a lot of women, they say that, and then when it's time to produce that every day, like you said,
oh yeah,
when we wasn't in the house,
I'm tired. I don't feel like it.
Well, so I want to point out something too. A guy who wasn't on the panel, but he's spoken with many of the individuals on there. Shout out to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, who spoke on this idea that us as men are they tend to believe so the same mothers that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. They don't realize what's happening to them. They are taught to pathologize and narrate our experiences through their eyes, which is why everything to them seems the way it does, because they believe they can tell you more about yourself than how you actually live it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when you are
where do you think they get it from, though?
But that's what I'm saying. It's passed down, and it's not realized that by them that it's happening. So the idea that there's an ick or disgust behind cooking for someone, when I'm like, it's funny when you look at previous generations and you compare them. I'm like, my grandmother was on the kitchen. Yeah. She was back then. Grandmother, auntie, and all that. The
kitchen was
when they was cooking, they told you to get out the kitchen.
Yeah, but she had a husband, and she was in alignment with him.
Yeah.
A lot of these women don't be in alignment with the man because they're not in alignment with themselves.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it ties down to that. Now, who do y'all think is a detriment more? The single black mom or the absent father?
Damn, we didn't even go to the other extreme.
Whoever go first.
I say I'm still on the both. I can't remove myself
I was gonna
from
say
it.
I can't. It's.
But like Kay said, for conversational purposes, it just depends on the situation at hand.
Man,
so each and every
me being a father now,
and this doesn't apply to everybody. Let's just speak on
on us.
Just real stuff. I guess I'm pro pops, man. I'm pro father because I know the power that we do hold in the household.
Yeah,
and yes, there is a lot of things I will say about the opposite. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna say that us not being there, man, it says a lot, because not only don't our child have us, but our woman don't have it either.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something, Kay.
You got to answer the question first.
Oh,
yeah.
Why I had the same answer as Mac? Because I can't. I'm not gonna put it on either side. You said.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would blame.
Do you got one, Trooper? Who's more detriment?
I'm gonna say,
because I believe the both. Like ultimately, I do believe the both. I want that to be said.
I would ask who deserves more of the blame, and in that scenario, I would have to place it on the woman, because if the man did step out, it's all on you. That's fine, but what are you gonna do with that all on you, and how are you gonna treat the seed that you raised?
I have to say, I'm gonna go with the women. I'm not gonna say. It's hard for me to do the gray area shit, because then I'll be splitting 50-50 just for the sake of fairness. However, but when you talk about situations like that, when a kid is involved, it's never fair for the black man, period.
Yeah,
because when she's pregnant, she dictates everything.
Yeah.
She dictates and controls.
She brings her
it don't become a partnership.
Yep.
It becomes a dictatorship.
And she brings her hyena clan, all the other women in there, and they all looking at you crazy. Yeah.
Exactly. And it ties down. Like when women start saying, "Well, I didn't know he was like this. He changed." Nah,
he was like that.
I was about to ask you that, because I was gonna say, like, the reason why I was kind of split on both as well too is because though I see everything you're saying, bro, I have seen some cats do some psychological shit, bro, that you wouldn't even be able to expect. I'm talking about like people who were preachers and
but
guys
I seen that with women too though.
Yeah. No, facts. That's facts. Now the nuance I was gonna ask you about though is
Like
is it only about
one who was a psychologist?
Yep. Oh man, come on.
Is it
Come on.
Is it only about the what stage are we talking about here? Is she pregnant? Are we talking about like the child's toddler?
We got to talk about the stage of where they were at. The father's already gone. She's raising this child. Who's to blame for this child not being the best human that they could be?
Now,
has she just got pregnant? Or are we talking about like a few years after the child was born? Or?
We're gonna go to a break, but when we come back from it, let's take it from when she's pregnant.
Okay.
Because you see the signs before then.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So hey, y'all don't go nowhere. Keep it locked.
Yeah.
We'll be back, man. Patio PolitiCz.
Yep.
A culmination of powerful properties that create balance and produce good energy. Cultivating a culture of mindfulness is a daily battle. We target your inner me. Physiological effects, change you can truly feel. Aesthetically pleasing on the surface, but handmade to help you heal.
Yes.
You are now rocking with the Patio PolitiCz.
We back.
Man,
About to really piss some people off, man.
They not gonna like us for this one, man.
So let's take it from let's take it from the pregnant portion. And I say this because I don't hear too often single black fathers, like say for example, working in group homes, working around kids, coaching, all this shit. I always see the most damaged and traumatized kids being from a single black mom.
Yep.
Period. Single black mom. And you could tell when you watch the children, the teenagers, even like how you say you in school or just being around family members, you can see the difference between somebody who's raised by their father and then somebody who's raised by their mother. Women are more prone to be emotional and everything. And then they justify their emotions based on their struggle. I got 2 and 3 jobs, so I'm always tired. And we okay it. Nah. Where's your support? You notice when it's time for a woman to really raise a child and all that, they have the support of their family, but it's a lot in the hood that don't. So they have to raise their kid by themselves with no help. But when it's time to turn up and all that support that has vanished and dismissed.
I was gonna say.
Now they all here for the turn up. Now they're supportive of the weed smoking, the drinking,
I see
the whoredom, especially the whoredom.
That's why I asked you about the stages, because when I say nuance, nobody talks about that crap. Like especially with students, bro. You know how many times that we've had mothers come in and get crazy with the staff,
all the time.
Like for instance, the sad thing for me too is being at schools where I see it's only a handful of black kids. You know, and we've all had that experience, or maybe I don't know if y'all have, but where you might be one of the only few black kids at the school. I got a handful, bro. They come to school 2.5 hours late every single day. And for the longest, you're trying to figure out why the mother just don't want to get up in time. And when she comes up, man, she comes up and she's chilling. Yeah, attitude.
Oh no. If your dad was here, then I wouldn't have to see. It's projected.
Yeah,
they blame God. You got some girls that say, "Why me, God?" You're blaming. You're placing blame on somebody other than yourself. You fucked the man, y'all. Like, you fucked him,
and then so that's where I
was fucking him.
Yeah, that's where I get the whole point of like, it sucks to me because I know mothers out there that actually do, like, you know, they put their head down and grind and grit and don't say anything and just, you know, put the work in. You know, it's an unfortunate situation.
No, shout out to them, because there's a lot out there like that.
Yeah, you
know, who don't project, who don't blame, who are accountable, but they still make that shit crack. So shout out to all y'all ladies that's doing that, all y'all beautiful black women that's doing that.
And that's what doesn't get enough spotlight.
Exactly.
The single mothers that are doing great, the single fathers that are doing great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or the single parents where one half of the parent passed away, perished and whatnot.
I was gonna say
you know
that.
what I'm saying? Like, we don't focus on that. Everybody always wants to focus on what's toxic, and let's build that, bring that, and act like we bring in resolution to it when they're not.
But they're the loudest, and they're the ones that I'm saying are drowning it out. That was why I was kind of split on the fence, because it kills me. Like I've known some that know other mothers like that, and it annoys them in seeing how those are, because they're like, shit, you got help. You got government.
Why? Because it look easy? Because
I'm saying, like, I've known them and they'd be like, damn, I got more going on, and I'm like, how did you get government assistance and I couldn't?
Man,
you got your mama and your sister and your auntie looking after your kids so you can go to school. And
I mean, at that point, it shouldn't be a finger pointing like of how. It's just like, can you help me? Can you pull me over to where you at, because I need that same assistance? Are we gonna be greedy, which we usually always are, and it's just like when it's not even yours to withhold from anybody else that needs that assistance.
Oh man, you gonna start World War III telling them that? And I've seen that.
And I think too, what changes a diaspora of a relationship between the two is we have unprotected sex. You pregnant. Now shit gets complicated. Because now you're changing, you're not asking me, what do you think we should do? We, keyword we. You're saying, I'm pregnant. You either sending a picture, you telling, you already done made up in your mind.
Yeah,
what's happening?
It's a my body, my choice.
But that's what society. That's what society has programmed their minds to believe. That's why they're so possessive over it, and that's why when it comes to, I'm gonna really piss people off when I say this. That's why when it comes to abortion, they don't think that they're actually killing a human life.
My body, my choice.
Well, it's my body, my choice until it's time to face facts, and then it's like, oh well, he did this to me,
but you got some troopers who would get that letter A and they be good, and they relationship stick because they had a conversation and they said, what are we doing? Yeah. Now you're opening the floor for the man, listen ladies, for the man to have input and feel a part of, and not just be a tag along or like, damn, now I'm getting anxiety because you saying you keeping it and you already on baby mama shit because you done weeded me out of the we situation.
It's the idea that the mentality of being a family was never there. That's the point.
Yeah.
The idea of, so when you say, what are we doing? Yeah. That's assuming, well, we did this, so we gonna figure this out. Not well.
That's why we can't assume.
I got this.
That's why
you can see him when I say you can.
That's why we speak on like marriages. I mean, even though I know we don't have the luxury of being that and we wasn't taught that. Yeah, that's why we got to be real careful about the relationships that we do choose to pour into in that type of way. Man, like, man, I mean, shit happens.
That's real shit.
But hey, if you married though, this type of shit would be less easy. And then no, it's not about the marriage. It's not about the title, but it's about the work to work up to even become married. Like the questions that you ask, you already know what you're getting yourself into. The bond, the connection. You know what you're getting yourself into before you run into these things. So you already know, like, hey, we already talked about finances. We already talked about kids. We already talked about this, to where you didn't run into this problem soon as the problem occurred.
Man, that part.
And for we situations, when that question of what do we or what can we do from here, the answer always comes back, or a good portion of it is, well, I.
Yeah.
And see, it
gets back to the selfishness.
Yeah. Immediately.
They have an addiction or a habit of circling it all the way back to them.
Like, this is what I do and this is what I've dealt with. This is how I operate. Because without any sound of, all right, I'm open to change. I'm open to adjust to this new situation that I'm in. I'm looking for something different than what I was raised through. Like, you don't see that a lot. You don't get that a lot. I know it exists.
Yes.
I know it's out there, and it's a lot of it.
But also consider,
and to me, that's too late to see a sacrifice from somebody.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm seeing that you only making, like, if it takes for you to have a child for me to see that you willing to sacrifice yourself or not, that's too late. Because sometimes they're gonna show you the red flags way ahead of time.
From the beginning.
Man.
Yeah.
And that's the only time that I
agree. We're talking about we ignore.
Hell yeah, we ignore.
Vice versa.
And I was gonna say that's the only time that I can say, like, I'm 1,000% where you coming from. The idea that, like, why did it have to get to here?
Yeah.
Like, there were plenty of other opportunities, and if there weren't, then you didn't create them.
Man,
because you cannot tell me, first off, unless you're saying he forced himself on you, then it was consensual.
Yeah.
Okay. So that cancels out the whole, this happened to me.
But and see, when things are consensual, it takes both parties to agree.
But that's the problem I'm saying. The other point I was gonna make too is that the same influences they're getting from their mothers, they have never seen a black man ever as, like, tribal head of the chief, head of the head of the village, or they've never seen a man at the head. So they also, you know, the plot to destroy our community as well too through white supremacy is getting them to be possessive.
Yeah, hell
because imagine how can you truly focus on creating wealth for your community when your women are taught to be possessive over your own children
and stingy.
You can see them when I say you can.
Yeah,
you can. You know, well, you know, you got to pick him up here if you want to get him.
That's what pushes the men all the way out. All the way out.
But also
at
too,
some point the man has to protect his peace too.
And so then you get other figures out there like, you know, I ain't even gonna give them no credit by saying their names on air, but you know, doctors and such, and people who, you know, claim to be Pan-African studies experts, putting it on us. Saying, well, you know, that's a weak reason to leave.
You said doctors that aren't married either. Let's just say that. Let's say that.
Doctors that are trying to hide behind their education and they got
gay or straight. Let's say that.
and
like
some of them,
women,
many of them got baby mamas too.
Yeah, exactly.
Won't speak on their situation, but got something to tell everybody else about.
Nobody likes being under heat. Nobody likes being under pressure. Nobody likes being asked those hard questions that you've never even thought of to ask yourself before somebody else did.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And like, we could all point fingers. We could always say it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault without looking at self. But it's like, for what? What gain are we getting out of that? Where are we moving to? How do we prosper as one or as two if that's what we keep doing?
Yeah.
Because people don't genuinely think that way. Like, so for instance, I had this conversation with mine several times when I asked, I was like, okay, do you genuinely think when we talk about things like this that the majority of those people on panels like this are thinking about solutions? Because my thing is, everybody has said, you know, they're saying this, and this, and that's misogyny, and they're saying that, and they hate women or they hate men or whatever. And I'm like, well, if we was on a sports team right now and this was halftime, usually your coach or your team captain or whoever is cussing y'all out and getting in your ass, and it's not personal. It's because, look, we've got a serious effing problem to solve.
How we gonna deal with it?
If we gonna win this game?
How we gonna deal with it?
To me, I look at it as like, you know, and maybe it's too shallow, but the halftime approach as, let's get all the shit out, how we need to get it out so that we can move forward. But I'm looking at it at the
beginning. You should do the even beat. That's what game planning is for.
Yeah.
Well, it is,
sometimes people plan to fuck.
Yeah. Okay.
We going out to dinner. We going to the house. You let me in. Yeah. You know what drawers you wearing. You know what cologne.
Yeah.
It's almost like an unspoken agreement.
But that's okay. So that's in that instance. I'm talking about more so like, I thought we were having these discussions because our goals were to get to solutions. I'm like, many of y'all just want to keep. You like fighting. You like going back and forth. You live and you thrive in this because that's all you really know how to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you bored when things are going good.
Yeah.
You bored the you know, and that's why you can't.
But these are conversations that they don't like having, women, at the beginning, because in order to have that type of conversation, you got to be transparent. You got to be open and honest. They don't want to be.
They don't know how to be.
Yeah, they playing chess.
Hey,
they playing chess, and some play checkers.
Man, and playing God's advocate real quick.
Yes, sir.
Man, like sometimes the conversations will come up with only the fingers pointed, but with no solutions. Like a lot of times we be guilty of that, to where we'll tell the person about the problem, but then we don't have the tools to how to genuinely fix the problem. And maybe the solution may not be what we thought it was, but at least we got some practical things to keep the conversation going from, hey, it's no longer me pointing this at you, but hey, though I'm pointing it at you, look at this over here. We got a destination. Yeah. I'm just telling you about you just to be aware of what you do have control over. You can fix yourself in X, Y, and Z area, and then maybe this will start coming about. You know, like real practical things.
Yeah, hell yeah.
We so used to just pointing this, because sometimes the women do that to us. Well, I don't like how you do this, or I don't like how you do that. But sometimes if you got like just the example of how I can show up, or even if you've seen that, maybe it can get a little further from the emotions.
Yep. And from the blame game. Hell yeah.
Man,
I'll raise you one on that, but I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mac. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, I usually tell people, don't ask nobody a question that you're not ready to answer yourself if they ask it back to you. But I'm about to break that just in this moment, because I want to ask y'all a question that I don't have an answer to for myself.
Yeah, for sure.
What would y'all prefer in your life from dating a woman? You want to date a woman who came from being raised by only her father, being raised by only her mother, her grandparents, or both parents?
If that's all the information I had to go off of.
Damn.
I mean, yeah, could it? I mean, it could.
You said, well,
you gotta just go through
I don't know which one, right? Look,
they could have been raised by a brother, or a sister, or auntie. You know,
look,
that's a great question.
Either way, it's gonna be one, right?
Yeah, either way, it's gonna be one. It's always gonna be one.
So look,
We have to pick
I don't know this one. So look, I don't know this one, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the grandparents, right? Only because look, I want to choose the one who had a demonstration of love.
So like both grandparents though, because some scenarios you got one grandma, one grandpa.
If whatever parent that is, if it was one of those parents, whatever the one demonstrated the most love, because to me, if they was missing something and they didn't have those qualities, but at least they have an idea of what loves look like.
Man.
Because if you got somebody who got because if you got somebody who understand that, sometimes they can be the person who becomes like, you might get them and they might be broken down, but probably 5 years within your relationship, they'll become a better person because they love you so much and they care about you, and that they willing to, but they also love themselves to where they willing they're willing to demonstrate that for the sake of something greater, you know, because that's what they say, love wins. That's what I'm gonna choose, the loving parent, and that's probably the grandparent. So I'm gonna choose grandma.
All right, hold on. we gonna take a break, so we're gonna come back and get cheese, yours, mine, and then we're gonna go back to Mac. But y'all don't go nowhere. Keep it locked, man. We'll be back. Patio Politics.
You are now rocking with the Patio PolitiCz.
I know several.
So hold on, yo. Welcome back. Man, Mac hit us with a great question. Just re-ask the question.
Well, Kay already answered, and he chose love. But the question was, what would you?
And grandma.
Grandma love. What would you prefer to date the woman who had her dad only, had her mom only, had her grandparents, one half of her grandparents, had a sibling, just herself? Like, which one would you rather? Do you feel like you would have the most success with?
And we talking about just single parents?
Yeah. Like across the board, you got two parents.
Oh,
you got
okay,
just
got
your
you.
mom, you got just your dad,
Okay,
you got
okay.
grandparents,
Okay.
just your grandma, just your what do you think like Kay said, what do you think the most love would come from in that scenario? Or what is it that you're looking for, and who do you think would give them the best tools for that?
Yeah. Damn, you got yours, T?
Let me preface it so I don't get in trouble. If I was to make that decision on dating somebody different, it would be
if they had it.
I think I want to say that like the grandparents make the most sense just because we know their generation had a better, well, for me it would have been great grandparents, but their generation had a better outlook on that where they would have probably instilled that. Mm-hmm. But I have known quite a few that were raised just by their fathers, and girls that have dads, and then also too, what the dads do is dads can add that extra protective layer that mothers can't. I'm sorry, I know a lot of mothers think they can or think all that rah-rah does something, but no, it's something about like for when dudes know that a girl has her dad there. Yeah,
but that's facts. Even if fuck the rah-rah, a woman can never, and that's fact, can never provide the protection a father can to his daughter. Message. Period. Right. Or son. Period.
Right.
You know. The same way a man, I ain't gonna say never, but we can't provide the nurturing that a great mother or the comfort and the caring that a sister can provide.
Message. And I noticed, and the reason I say it would be grandparents or probably just the father is not to put down the idea that if she was raised by two parents together that it could have been bad, but in this day and age I have actually seen more dudes that kind of like simp out inside with the same mentality of said mothers, and they teach their girls to become just like they would if they was raised by a single mother, because they're very passive with the women they're with, and their daughters see them passive, and so they teach their daughters, you still don't need a nigga. And
those are the girls that be like, if you're not doing everything that my father did, and this is what my daddy did, wham, yada yada, like
exactly. But if I say, well, you should have the traits of my mama, it's like, oh, you want me to be your mother, like
exactly. It's always that's that double standard shit.
So girls that I've seen like raised by single dads, you know, I would put them higher on the spectrum than, you know, just parents.
Damn, man. I would say both parents. However, I've dealt with a lot of toxic women who came from both parents.
Yeah. Did she have a lot of siblings?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
She had. Yeah, they had a lot of siblings. However, the dynamic was kind of off a little. Dad always working extra overtime. Yeah, he'd have time with the wife. A lot of the mothers wasn't working. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So it's that whole you gotta take care of me type thing.
You'll still get it as if it came from a
I told you from the two parent ones they idolize that.
Those would be the cons of that part with the two parents. The only reason I would choose that is because it will be in perfect alignment with me, and she'll understand partnership in a sense. And just dynamic. Okay, let me see what my mom is getting up doing for my husband. Let me see if she cooking, if she cleaning. Let me see how she getting the kids ready. And that ties down to the grandparent love too.
Mm-hmm. Or whatever the case may. I gotta disagree.
No. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go. You weren't done. My bad.
But I was saying like it may be that, but I will swing it to the single father. The single father. And I will only say that too because the woman will grow up and she'll understand leadership. She will know and understand firsthand what it's like seeing the struggle of a single black father or man, what he's going through.
Absolutely.
Him trying. Black man.
Was she really though? Because we do a good job of like containing.
But you know what? Where I feel
it and know that.
But where I feel Five is coming from too is she's gonna get that absent of a woman in her head saying shit like your daddy ain't this and that and the other, and
she won't be able to say that.
So because if she's getting that in her head, then she won't see the tired nights. She won't see the extra effort he's going to even when he's sick.
No. But I'm saying if it's a single dad, she would because it's just them. So
right.
She would see the sleepless nights. We don't bring a lot of us don't bring the whoredom in front of our children like that at all. Opposed to where the mom is. Or I'm talking to somebody, leaving a kid home to go fuck this nigga. Now the nigga moving in, all kind of weird
snacks.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be kind of weird shit with a lot of great black fathers, saying all of us. We don't bring our children around a women like that.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? So the single dad will provide that caring, that nurturing, that protection, that love that she's gonna be able to be like, damn, I want to be with somebody like my dad, somebody I know what it's like, a black man struggling. She's gonna be a lot sympathetic to the makings of a black man opposed to a woman out of a two parent home who like, well shit, I know my dad worked, but I was out shopping with mom, so I didn't really whoop-de wop. You get what I'm saying?
And my dad was a real man.
My dad was
he made it where my mom didn't have to do anything.
Exactly.
And that's
that's still toxic.
Because see, when you say like that displays partnership, that's not partnership.
Yeah, a lot of women don't value black single fathers and the great man no more. Just even kids, a black men without kids, they don't respect and honor hardworking black men who have standards.
They just say that's what you're supposed to do.
But you want to know why too?
There's no flowers for that.
You notice how just like that panel and many others like it, this whole rah-rah over the last however many years on the quote-unquote leadership convo.
Yeah.
And I've brought this up on many shows in years past where I've said they don't truly know what leadership is. What they're doing is they're trying to brandish it, the name of it, on something else that they feel benefits them.
Yeah.
But it's not real leadership. Because where you said that, okay, with the single father, she would have learned leadership under him. The reason I brought the preface up of many situations where there's two parents and the father still demurs to the mother.
Yeah.
The idea of leadership to them is serving them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, and a leader is actually out to do what is best for you and the entire village.
Exactly.
Leadership is not about pleasing you, sweetheart.
Exactly.
You know.
But that's the detriment that social media has became in teaching that. Then when you got simps, these attractive simps out there promoting being a sucker, being a simp, the Russell Wilsons. We got people like that. Now I done came across so many women that they be like, oh, I want a Russell Wilson type dude. I want somebody to be like that with me.
I know you don't.
You're canceled. I cancel her. Like, nah, you a clown. You tripping.
You want that now.
Yeah, you want that now.
You want that because you see what it looks like in the end when you're done.
4 or 5 baby daddies in. Your stuff is ripped out from the inside out. You got pastrami meat. Now you want that? Nah, ladies.
That reminds me of another panel we're going to have.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
Pastrami.
Through.
Pastrami.
Do they not deserve it?
Man, come on.
Everybody deserves a little piece of perfection or getting to the land of
Mac.
We've been healed.
This goes back to the example I used earlier when I said, how do you qualify that, Mac? Because at the end of the day, remember, everybody has free will.
Yeah. Everybody does. Everybody does have free will, but nobody ever taps into their free will until it's time for them to defend their self.
I wouldn't say that. I would say, okay, let me ask y'all this. When it comes to consequences, even deadbeats or even dudes who are out in the streets doing wrong, who in the world do you genuinely see, even when they're doing wrong, can admit to it more often? Us.
All
right.
They not gonna admit to shit, especially being wrong.
So the point I'm making is that we even when we F up, because in spaces like this too, one of the chicks who's on the panel, who I'm pretty sure we're gonna discuss more on later. I even asked, I was like, well, where do you see dudes out there high-fiving other dudes that are deadbeats? Like, yeah, nigga, you left her and your son here.
I do.
I mean, it happens, but
no. But I mean, you being silly,
bro. That's not the terminology.
But you mean,
no, it's so serious. There's niggas out there like that's not the terminology, man. But it's just like,
okay. Do you believe that that's a huge portion, if not the majority of black men?
No, it's a small percent of scoundrels.
You be like Keisha from up the street. Oh man, you missed one, bro. But hey.
But I'm talking about, come on,
fuck her, bro. Have another baby, bro.
That's toxic.
The general consensus of fathers, I'm not seeing that from, man. I'm seeing more dads out there that know who the kids, every 6 of their teachers are in school. The last project they did will go and sit in with them. I've seen dudes show up in they whole jumpsuit from construction and or whatever they doing, or drive all the way across town, sit and have conversations with dads, and they be like, yeah, man, I had to drive like an hour and some change to come pick her up because, and I'm like, tripping. And I'm like, so where is this notion that like all these dudes out here have just like forgotten their kids? Like, you just, I put it in her now. Let me move on to the next one.
It's the niggas that they're attracted to. They don't want to say that part.
That's the point. That's the point I'm making on the panel.
Yeah.
But so
you solve for everybody, and it's still 1 out of every 10 that we want to pin that on all the rest of us. Like, we didn't tell you to go over there.
Yeah. Being toxic is like a magnet. Toxic attracts toxic. Man. Period. And they don't want to.
It's a hell of an analogy.
They don't want to understand
it is what it is.
Yeah. And a lot of those ones be the ones that be like, oh, I want a baby. And then they that's what they be saying. I just want a baby, but they don't highlight all the other things that they want.
Man,
and that's all they end up with.
I just had that.
I don't know if I could go all the way with toxic attracts toxic, because you could attract the opposite, but not know what you have, and that's where the battle starts at.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be a battle then if that's the case, unless you want to change. Because
like it's gonna be one other person that's gonna always change the.
It's always gonna be one. But what if you see it and you recognize it, but it's like, I still want her. Let me see if I could change that. Or I still want him. Let me see if I can.
She and he would have to want that change for themselves.
Right.
Of course they would. Yeah. But like the scenario always happens. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you attract everything.
Because change is an action, and a lot of people miss out on that shit. Change is an action. If you really want to change something, you're gonna choose to do that. Yeah. A lot of people say they won't change,
but don't choose to do nothing different.
They lazy, so they don't choose to change though. You get what I'm saying? Because of the responsibility, like you were saying earlier, that comes with changing and everything.
Because it's heavy. It's heavy because that comes with dealing with the trauma that not only you had to go through that you didn't recognize you were living through, but then the generational trauma that goes beyond that. Like, you got to pinpoint where the problem was as far back as you can in order to fix whatever it is.
But the reason you know that they aren't serious about solving the problem is, like, if we talking about issues on a team and it's 5 people on the court, well, that means 5 people could have shot. Now, just because I might be the primary scorer, that doesn't mean teams don't win championships off of one player. So it's like, all right, well, the idea is that blame men. If men just do better, women. You ever hear them say that on social media all the time? If y'all were just doing what y'all were doing, women would naturally, and I'm like,
shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if it's so natural, then
it wouldn't be a problem.
That would have to mean that every dude out there who's checks off all the boxes would already have to be taken. And we've proven that time and time again.
I'm glad you said
It's
that.
not.
You know what's so crazy and strange, that the woman who always attempts to tell us what a man is are the women who don't have man.
Ain't never lived no life with a man around.
Yeah, exactly. That too. But they don't have a man. So how can you tell me what a man is and you don't have a man?
Well, some of them do, but some of them get the guys that demur to them.
Yeah.
They get the guys that, tell them what they want to hear. It's one of them things where you don't recognize that that's not what's best for you. You think because of you're eating sugar all day, doing that. Oh, it tastes good. It feels good. He understands me. He's giving me exactly. And it's like, no, sweetheart.
But what do we understand if you don't understand yourself?
Man, and that's the thing, because I'm tired of us men getting called sassy by women that don't understand themselves.
Oh, I don't even.
Because it'd be the sassy women trying to call us that.
Like,
Or the overly masculine.
Yeah, that part, man, that part.
I'm a manner man than you.
Damn, girl, you want a dick and balls?
Don't even pay him no mind.
It's heavy. It's heavy. That because I feel that's equivalent to us telling them what it feels like to have a period or give birth.
And we never do.
We can't though. We don't. Yeah, we don't.
But they cross the line more than we do on things that we know we don't understand, but we know something about.
Yeah,
I'll say this too though. Do you believe that many of them in their current predicaments? Because I'm saying, like, after learning about a lot of this stuff, like, I used to be at a place where I was taught what a lot of the Sims are, and it was all about feel sorry for them. And now I'm just like, well, it looks like you're getting just what's due to you, and you've certainly already received, I won't say received your punishment, but received, what you just deserve, because similar to what he said about, calling us sassy and everything, you can't be told nothing. And I'm like, well, now there we see why God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah.
If you can't be told, then why are you talking?
That's why they want we said his name types, because you can tell him to shut up, bitch, and he's gonna shut up. You can say, I'm going out with the girls, pick me up at this time, you bitch, and drop me off at this time. He's gonna say, okay. He'll try to breastfeed his kids if he could. Like, nah, it don't, nah. And
that's the type of dudes that internalize everything, she's this way because I'm lacking in leadership somewhere. I'm like, no, she was this way before you got to her.
Yeah, but even in marriage, when you make a covenant under God, the hierarchy or the pyramid still is the man first, under God.
Yeah.
So why are you attempting to step over me and lead?
A lot of them don't acknowledge God as much as they say they do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I used the example earlier. I said, when you hear people preach on the whole virtuous woman, they only ever mention the scripture. I was like, read the rest of the chapter. It's actually quite long.
And
it tells you a lot of things that y'all don't want to admit.
That's because they genie-tize God. They want to rub him on a
like a genie in a lamp.
Come out, give me your 3 wishes. Okay, back in there, God.
Their God is
back
who
to
raised
whoredom.
them.
Yeah, back to whoredom. Yeah, that part. You said it. He said, say that shit again.
Their God is who raised them.
There it is. Mommy, get a big Baphomet, a statue of your mom and your grandma, like the fucking...
And don't talk about their mom. Oof.
Yeah.
Paint her like a golden calf.
Yep. A golden whore.
I'll be polite and say calf, but y'all heard it.
I'm gonna call it what she is. Oh man, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right, man. You get it from your mama. See, they love saying that.
I mean, they can say it. I get it from my mom. Like,
that's just an affirmation.
But you know what? You're right, Five, because you have to. Because you know what? Just literally yesterday, I confronted, and I hate to say it too. Black girls, students on that.
Yeah.
I literally, and so 3 black girls.
Yeah.
New ones at the school that I'm at, man, and I'm like asking them, I'm like, why do y'all call yourselves that? Why do you walk around saying that? And I was like, well, can I say that? Can Nico over there say that? Little Russian kid.
Yeah.
Hell no. Cause he don't know me. Oh, so all I got to do is know you. If I know you, I can call you a B word.
Yeah,
so after I get to know you for about a year, I can call you a B word.
Yeah.
We unpack everything, and then you know whose fault it was? Well, I mean, my mama, around all, I mean, that's just how we are in the house. I was like, yo, mama.
Yeah. Yes.
You a 7th grader.
Man,
so?
yes.
So?
You got girls in elementary doing that.
That's like what? 10 years or
Man.
8-9 years of the same
Those
thing.
are words
Like,
affirmation.
And so I'm like, well, what does your dad say? Well, he doesn't know.
Yeah, see? Nah. And mama gonna let me do my thing because I let her do her thing. So let the whore
That comes from this generation too of, you know, I don't want to be a parent. I want to treat my kid like the friend that'll never leave me, you know, or
From what I've seen, women will deal with their child all the way up until they can't deal with their actions and their troublesome actions.
Yep.
And then they look for a man
Yep.
if the man's not there. Or go over here or go over there or come get her, come get him.
Because the child grows into a teenager and is acting like you now.
And start seeing everything or whatever.
Now you want somebody
I've
to fix it.
experienced that firsthand.
Now you want somebody to fix it.
I've experienced that firsthand with somebody in a relationship before.
Yeah, likewise.
Seen it.
Likewise. Now, before we close, solution for it.
Conversation, understand.
So it won't be deadbeat dads and toxic single mothers.
Even with conversation and understanding, notepads, note taking, type it up, write it up, however, print it out, sit there with each other. I've therapy, yeah. I've sat there, I've done those things, and you know the outcome still didn't turn out how I needed it to or how I wanted, but like that's a start. You know what I'm saying? It's just conversation because a lot of people just don't talk about the things that are the most important that need to be spoken on.
Yeah.
That's all. Like conversation and understanding.
Yeah.
And action afterwards.
Yeah.
Man,
Consistently.
that's the same answer for me. I'm gonna say courtship.
Yep, man.
And through courtship, you're gonna ask all the questions. I feel that you won't wait till you with somebody and y'all going through, you know, the life changing experiences to where y'all start asking them. Ask them early.
Plan to win, not just not to lose. Like, you don't have to have, what Napoleon says in his books, it's not important that your plan be sound. You can continue to change your plan over time because life happens.
Life happens.
But I can't tell you how many conversations that I've had on similar relational topics of this, where it's like, you never even planned to have a family. You just wanted a kid yourself.
Some of them never even wanted a kid.
But you. Well, I'm saying even for the ones that did, you wanted a kid because you thought it was like Santa Claus giving you a gift just for you. You don't realize that that's somebody else's life.
God told me I should have this baby.
God told me I should have this baby. Well, it's like,
bitch, you lying, man.
Why? and then you wonder why the generations raise up the way
why
they do.
Why did tell me?
Yeah.
Why God didn't tell me then?
Yeah,
we praying to the same God, or we not? We praying to mom. Yeah, mom. Yeah, we got two different gods.
Now, hold on, real quick.
Ahead.
I know because I know we're trying to close. I got to make this point as well too. You notice how it's also popular now to essentially assassinate men's character and say like you have mommy issues, and I'm like, it's interesting because if you say certain things to women, it's taken as ultimate just disrespect and they get offended by everything. But it's like that's supposed to be a way of attacking us when it's like, yo, if I said that to you, or if I said you causing mommy issues to somebody else, you be ready to fight me and cause World War III. And I'm like, well, let's address that. How do dudes get mommy issues? Because it ain't, if it's mommy issues, it ain't daddy.
Yeah.
You know, and then trying to say, well, it's rooted in daddy. Well, it's like,
how?
You could have mommy issues from everywhere. God. So now where that relates to this whole thing, I'm sorry. You got a point, K?
Nah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Where that relates to this whole thing is similar to how I said before. People don't even plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you never even planned to do things the right way.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mac, maybe they didn't want a kid, but many I know that do they just wanted a baby for them.
They wanted a human toy.
I've literally like scratched out the same way you said. Nope. Next, scratched them off because I've heard some shit like that. I'm like, you just wanted a baby for yourself. It's like and then that's what happens when you get on the other side and you're like, oh shit, this is actually hard.
Mm-hmm. I gotta be responsible.
I gotta be responsible. Well, dang, it's not going my way. Well, I can't look bad, so let me blame it on him.
Yep.
And
yep.
My bad. Go ahead, Kate.
Yeah, nah. I know we closing out, but you said something about the mommy issues, and I was just about to.
Who caused them?
Only because I do believe that we're more logical and we're more balanced.
Yes.
And so that when they are around a woman, they tend to deal with things more emotionally. So the mommy issues would come off as will come off more in the emotional man.
Yep.
And so I'm gonna say the man that tend to have his father around sometimes tend to have them, like those tend to be more laid back, like chill, cool, because Pop showed them how to, hey man, just because you ain't get your candy this time, every time, then it turned into when you didn't get something as an adult man, you kind of deal with them in the same way. So I'm gonna say sometimes the blame of the mommy issues could be what we talking about. If he was there, he could have probably taught us how to deal with it different.
Yeah,
that's
yeah. Stop chasing.
Wait. So the blame of the mommy issues is because dad wasn't there.
I'm saying it was almost as if you said the blame was the woman, right? Of the mommy issues. But I just highlighted like the mommy. 9 times out of 10, even she's emotional. Yeah. So her teaching a young man how to deal with his emotions is going to be harder, more difficult for her than the man doing it too.
Listen, man. Okay, I know we gotta go. I know. Man. Listen. That right there, I want to isolate that because that is the problem that I'm talking about there. That is still let you out of jail for free card.
Yeah.
That is still and she's not logical. I mean, we're the more logical. No. Being the parent is something that you chose to take on.
Yes.
Nobody put a gun in your head and did
said,
that.
yeah.
Okay?
Both.
It's like if I chose to jump in the NFL and I've never thrown a football before and hey, well, move out the way. I'm quarterback now. All right.
Just like
they come in.
We choose to pass our seed into your
No, but the conversation is not together. The conversation is always us.
No, I know the conversation is always that. I know you add to the narrative, but I was just saying, just that one little part.
For everybody out there saying that it's easier said than done, I want to combat that. Every time I'm going to combat that because if you really want to do it, then it's easy.
You're going to do it.
Man.
It's easy.
You're going to do it.
What I'm saying? The hardest things for people to do are the easiest things that can be done and vice versa.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? But because of how you were raised and how you continue to live the way that you do live, that's what makes it seem impossible. There's a loss in every victory and there's a victory in every loss. You just have to find the ones that are comfortable for the victories and the losses that you're taking. That's not going to pull you back off your path of off your path of getting to where you're going. You know what I'm saying?
I love that, man. Yeah. You might as well close it. I like that.
No, I was about to pass it to you.
Yeah,
I just wanted to get that in real quick.
Everything y'all said, I'm in alignment with, man. Yeah. Yeah, so
I mean, it's be more impulsive. Be more impulsive on the things that you wish to provide, or be more impulsive for the things that you wish were provided to you.
Yes,
and provide that to the next one, and that's how we change together.
Yeah.
And shout out to all the hardworking moms that aren't being like these that we're speaking of that was on that panel because that was embarrassing.
And shout outs to all the hardworking dads that don't get the recognition.
Yes, the dads
don't get the recognition.
And,
you know
and to all you single moms that's doing y'all shit, man, I pray that y'all find somebody that's in alignment with God, in alignment with God first, and then in alignment with you, so y'all can become the perfect match and pair with each other, man. To raise y'all children, whether you got children prior to the guy or whatever the case may be, and y'all be a beautiful, godly, happy family, man. Like for real. So, that's it for me, man, fellas.
Man, King Mac Billy, you already know what it is over here.
Yes, sir.
Kendon, Rider for Life, family.
Yo, Trouble T, what's up?
You already know what it is, man. Until the next time, keep it locked. Patio PolitiCz.